Welcome back to The Bible is Art. In this video, we're going to talk about why symbolism exists at all. Literature and film are replete with symbolism. This channel has multiple videos about symbolism, and many people believe that they can recognize symbolism in their life. But why? Why is there symbolism at all? Why do we have this pattern that's both delightful and seems almost necessary? But before we look at the why, let's get precise about what we mean by symbolism. And there's two parts: similarity and meaning. Symbolism is where one thing is related to another by some similarity. The similarity is what indicates that there's a connection between the two things, and then you have to figure out what that connection is. And this connection normally involves the disclosure of meaning. That is, symbolism, especially when done well, is not just like an icing on the cake or just sort of randomly connecting things, but actually reveals something about the meaning of the thing or situation or character or whatever the symbol actually is. So you have some similarity between two things that leads you to some insight, some meaning of one or both things. That's symbolism. Now, before we get to the answer about why symbolism exists, let's address the naturalistic explanations, and there are two: energy conservation and origin. First, there are these patterns of repetition. These similarities exist, or we love to create them so much, because it conserves energy. That is, if one pattern occurs, it will require less energy to repeat it. So that's why we see it over and over again in nature. And second, these patterns of repetition occur because all things derive from a single origin, so that information is readily available. Now, as is often the case, naturalistic explanations are not entirely wrong, but just incomplete. And these explanations often focus on the last or closest causal explanation. Let me give you an example. I used to teach high school seniors, and I would give them an exercise where they were to select any phenomena, so sports or laughter, music or math, and then do a Google search that had this structure: evolution and X, laughter or mathematics. And inevitably, there would be an article with the following structure: X, math, exists because 14 million years ago on the plains of Africa, X helped our ancestors to survive. And the purpose of this exercise was to unearth the first principles of naturalistic philosophy. That is, that something has been sufficiently explained when it has been explained in terms of fitness, providing an explanation of how X helps you to survive. Now, it's not that this is necessarily wrong, it's just wildly incomplete. Of course, laughter helps you to survive, but to think that you have sufficiently explained something when you intone the phrase, "it helps you to survive," is ridiculous. So why is there symbolism? What's the explanation? Why this extra layer on reality? Why are some things related to others? And why does this relatedness reveal the nature of the thing? The reason is that the existence of symbolism is itself a symbol, a disclosure of meaning about the nature of the world. The fact of symbolism is a symbol. So what's the thing that symbolism symbolizes? Well, it's God, of course, but a particular kind of God: God, Father, Son, and Spirit. Because God in himself bears similarity that discloses meaning. The Son is the image of the Father, and the meaning of the Son is that he is the Son of the Father. And a father is not a father without a son, and a father and son are not who they are without their enlivening spirit. There's also something very practical in understanding that symbolism goes all the way down as part of the fundamental ontology of the world. One of the most fundamental modes of thinking is fundamentally symbolic. It's called analogical or lateral thinking. This is where you take an insight from one sphere, say mathematics, and apply it to another, say biology. Some of the most fruitful insights have occurred with this pattern of thinking. This is also the structure of metaphor. In the words of one philosopher, metaphor is understanding one thing in terms of another. That is, meaning is disclosed when you connect two things seemingly different. Reality is not a bowl of unconnected atoms, but a structure of repetition and relatedness, where you can never understand one thing by itself, because the meaning of one thing is found in another. The meaning of man and woman are found in each other, and their meaning is found in an additional one, the child, which then permutates on another level as the child becomes a husband or a wife. This is most obviously seen in the very structure of the woman, whose body is designed to accept another life, to nurture life inside of her. The female body, the meaning of woman, is unable to be understood without the presence of another, and vice versa. And this is a feature of all of creation. And symbolism is a large way of how we unfold these things. And that, my friends, is why symbolism exists. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/thebibleisart. Please leave your comments below. I'll see you in the next video.